Hello to all of you out there. Uh, in the last video, I discussed regarding kinematics, the first equation of motion. Now we have three more equations to go for the equations of motion for our complete set of equations of motion. After the first equation that we derived the last video, that is v is equal to u plus at, where v and u are the final and the initial speeds and a is the acceleration. Remember, we are dealing with constant frame of acceleration and t is the time, obviously. Now suppose I take the same example, that is we are starting with the position s is equal to 0 at time t is equal to 0 and initial speed u, and the body accelerates, okay, and it accelerates and it reaches a final velocity v in time t is equal to t, okay, and in the process the final position is s, right? So the net displacement is from 0 to s, so the total displacement is s. So the initial and final conditions are given. So at any instant of time, the instantaneous speed can be given as v is equal to ds by dt. Now ds therefore will be equal to v dt. Now from the first equation we know that v is equal to u plus at. We had done this. So this is the same as the case we've considered right now, because the final speed, initial speed, acceleration, time, they are all the same. So we can use this case over there for the value of v. Yes, we'll be using u plus at instead of v over there. That has been noted by the arrow. So ds is equal to v dt, or instead of v we can write u plus at times of dt. So dt gets multiplied in both the terms in the right hand side, so u dt plus at dt. Now we can integrate the above expression, this one that we have obtained right now, within the given limits. Now what are the limits that we have got? Now we'll be integrating ds. Ds will be integrated from 0 to s. Remember, the position changes from 0 to the final position s, and u dt, because u is a constant, it stays outside. Now how is u a constant? Because u is the initial value of the initial velocity, right? So the value does not change. The value of the initial velocity means u, okay. It gradually changes as the time progresses, but at the initial instant of time its value is u. So we are using that u, that initial value of u, in order to find v. So it is that u, okay, it's a constant value that we are using. So u dt, and dt is integrated from the initial time t is equal to 0 to the final time t is equal to t, and at dt, again acceleration that is present over there, that is a constant that goes out of the integration, that need not be integrated, and it is taken from time is dt, so it is taken from 0 to t. So now we are setting, how we are setting the limits, you can see. So setting the limits over here for s is from 0 to s. Setting the limits for t, we are taking it from 0 to t. So do not get confused that one is from 0 to s, the other one is from 0 to t. There need not be any confusion. Okay, now s, integration of ds is s taken from 0 to s, integration of dt is t taken from 0 to t, and then integration of t dt is t square by 2. Now how is it t square by 2? You have to keep in mind the integration. Now remember, x to the power n dx that we had studied the previous class, the previous video, that is equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c, where c is the constant, and it only appears for indefinite integration where there are no limits, okay. Limits means we have been setting limits over here, so this is a definite integration, okay. So the constant does not appear over here, okay. In definite cases the constant does not appear. So let us suppose say that it is the limits are set for the above case from 0 to 1. So there will be no constant on the right hand side, as you can see. It will be just x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. N plus 1 is a number, so the limits are set for the above case, that is from 1 to 2, that I have taken on the left hand side. So this is how we progress in definite and indefinite integration. We'll do the rest of the steps in the above blank space. So that implies we subtract the upper limit, lower limit from the upper limit, that is s minus 0 is equal to u times of t minus 0 and a by 2. The 2 is a constant thing, so that goes outside, and it is t square minus 0 square. Now see, limits, they take the form of the thing that is present within the bracket. T square means it is, the upper limit is t square minus the lower limit 0 square, because in the bracket we had obtained t square. Okay, so that is why the limits are set like that. So s minus 0 is s, obviously, and you have u times of t plus half a t square. So s is equal to ut plus half a t square. This is the second equation of motion. Go through the video slowly so that you can understand this in a more precise way. We'll come to the third equation of motion. Now under the same condition that we were considering, we have the acceleration to be equal to, instantaneous acceleration to be equal to dv by dt. Now I can put any value, dv by x or x by dt, any value over there I can write. Okay, so which eventually will be cancelled because one is at the top and the other at the bottom. But for my purpose, what I am doing is I am dividing dv by ds, and I am putting a ds over there at the top of dt. Okay, just manipulation, mathematical manipulation, that's it, valid. Okay, so dv by ds nothing is nothing, it stays as it is. But what is ds by dt? It is nothing but the instantaneous speed. So now we have a is equal to v dv by ds. So v dv, ds goes cross multiplied to the left hand side, so we have a ds is equal to v dv. A is a constant, it stays out. Ds is integrated from 0 to s. Now what about v dv? V dv is integrated from an initial value u to a final value v. Obviously that is how the speed is changing, isn't it? So integration of ds is s, setting the limit from 0 to s, and integration of v dv is v square by 2, following the laws of integration, and we have set the limit from u to v. Now again, on the left hand side, if you see, it is s minus 0, that is the upper limit minus the lower limit, and on the right hand side the 2 is a constant, it stays at the denominator as it is, v square minus u square. Now the 2 can get cross multiplied over there, and you have 2as is equal to v square minus u square. Rearranging it, we can say v square minus u square is equal to 2as, or we can take the u square on the other side, and we have that equation to be equal to v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So either the top or the bottom, whatever form you can write the third equation. So the fourth and the final equation is the displacement in the nth second. Now what do you, or it is known as popularly s nth. Now what do you mean by s nth? Now let's consider this. Initial time t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds, suppose. Okay, a body is moving along that direction. T is equal to 1 second, t is equal to 2 second, t is equal to 3 second, every instant of time that we see over here. Now consider 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Now this 2 seconds to 3 seconds time limit is the third second, and suppose t is equal to 9 to t is equal to 10 seconds, so that is the 10th second. From 9 to 10, 10th second. From 2 to 3, third second. So the displacement in between that time, 2 seconds to 3 seconds, is s third, and the displacement within this 9 second to 10 second is s tenth. So likewise, s nth will be the displacement of any moving body from t is equal to t is equal to n minus 1 to t is equal to n. Okay, so in general form that we are writing over here is s nth. Okay, so again we are taking the same condition. Initial time t is equal to 0, final time t is equal to t. Starting point displacement position is s is equal to 0, ending position is s is equal to s, initial velocity is u, final velocity is v. Same condition, but and the displacement obviously, and it is under constant acceleration. Now I consider 2 points over there where I have taken, where the time is from t is equal to n minus 1 to t is equal to n, that is the nth second, where the positions I have marked as sn minus 1, s suffix n minus 1, and s suffix n. So that distance, as I said, from sn minus 1 to sn is equal to snth. So snth is equal to sn minus sn minus 1, that is the final position minus the initial position. Remember this thing, we'll be needing this later. So as we know, instantaneous speed is equal to ds by dt. So ds is equal to v dt, and v is obviously is equal to u plus at, because u is the initial speed over there. So u dt plus at dt, same thing that we had done in the previous case. So likewise we again integrate the above expression. Now s is here integrated. Now s is integrated from Sn minus 1 to Sn. Here the limits are changing. Okay, so and that limits of time are also changing from n minus 1 to n, as you can see, as per our requirement, as per our equation. Now we will be again using the top space for the rest of the derivation. So integration of ds is s taken from Sn minus 1 to Sn is equal to u t taken from n minus 1 to n, and a by 2, that is t square by 2, t square again taken from n minus 1 to n. So this is the upper limit minus the lower limit in the left hand side, Sn minus 1 is equal to u whole multiplied with upper limit n minus lower limit n minus 1 plus a by 2, 2 is the constant, it goes outside, and the bracketed term, that is n square minus n minus 1 whole square, right? So what is Sn minus Sn minus 1, as I had told you previously? So the left hand side goes to Snth, that is Sn minus Sn minus 1 is Snth, is equal to u times of 1, because n minus n minus 1 is 1, so it is u into 1, which is equal to u, plus a by 2 that remained outside, and n square minus n minus 1 whole square is nothing but 2n minus 1. You can find that out. So this is your fourth equation of motion, that is the displacement of a given body under constant acceleration with an initial speed u in the nth second. Okay, so the displacement in the nth second is here. So that will be all for today. The problems, that is the examples related to all these equations, will be coming up in the next video. Till then, it's goodbye and thank you.